Well, good morning.
Morning.
Great day. I appreciate everybody traveling somewhat long distances to attend the meeting, but hopefully you have accommodated some time in your schedule to be able to take a boat ride after the meeting. Got a great lunch set up for you. I got a number of people that I want to introduce you to. It looks like half the county turned out for you. But first of all, the folks that really put this together, Tara, they were talking on a daily basis for a long time to coordinate this. This is a state park now, Silver Spring, so everything had to kind of go through them. But the people that really put it together were our tourist development. And Linda, if you'll stand up, I'm sorry, Loretta Shaffer in the back is the director of the TDC. And then you don't hold your applause, go ahead and she's our tourism director, and then Corey Rock is he's with our group sales. And then Brian Day is with the group sales coordinator. So that's the team that really is the reason that we are able to put this together. A guest that I didn't know was going to be able to make it is Mayor Kent Gwynn. Kent,
Right here.
there he is. I'll tell you, Kent is finishing his term. He's been city councilman for 12 years and then 12 years as mayor. So we have worn him out. His last day will be December 5th this year, and the county has done a proclamation in declaring that day as Kent Gwynn Day in Marion County. So Kent, thank you for your service. We also have Chuck Barton, who's here. This area has been designated a community redevelopment area outside of the park area. So we've got our growth services director and half his team here. Chuck Barton is in the back. Growth services, and then our county administrator, Monier Bonet, took me about 3 years to learn how to. I really don't spell it very well. I put an extra E in Monier all the time. But those are some of the folks that are in attendance here to welcome you. I want to tell you just a little bit about Silver Spring. This is really home to me. I brought a couple of pictures. This is the first underwater picture that was ever taken at Silver Spring. That's my mother when she was 12 years old. It was such a big deal that they ran an article in the Atlanta Constitution because they had to build a box. They didn't have underwater cameras at that point, so they had to build a contraption to do that. Her dad he was kind of an inventor. He worked for a fellow named Mr. Carmichael, who in the early 1900s owned Silver Spring. This was the first tourist attraction in Florida. So you'll find people that are my age, in their 70s, that I will meet for the first time, and they'll go, yeah, my parents brought me to Silver Springs when I was like 6 years old or something like that. But her dad ran the Carmichael Plantation, and this is a rendering that my mother was a pretty good artist. This is a charcoal of the palm cabin that she was born in. And it was about 2 miles down the river. But, I could go on and on. We could all stand up. You all have special places that you live in. You're proud of it. We are certainly proud of Marion County and Ocala. Two things that if you have time, and I know most of you don't, but we're prepared to take you to Fort King. Fort King was the Southern Command of the United States Army during the Seminole Wars from about 1817 to 1842. It's interesting that I had a grandfather. We came here in 1823. So the first question people ask is, how many horses does your family own? We don't own any horses. Well, I think we stole them. I'm not sure exactly what happened back then. But I had a grandfather that was a county commissioner in 1844. My dad was a county commissioner in the late 60s, 1960s, and early 70s. So we have deep roots here. We love our community. But if you have any interest in looking at Fort King, there were over 300 forts in Florida. And now there are really only a couple, I think Fort Foster and Fort King. As I said, Fort King was the Southern Command for the United States Army. It was the first county seat, first courthouse of Marion County. The other thing that I want to mention is WEC, the World Equestrian Center. There's almost $1 billion of investment by the Roberts family in that facility. If you have any interest in looking at that while you're up here today, the TDC staff is prepared. They can run you by Fort King. It's just a little ways down the road. It's in the city of Ocala, and then take you out to the World Equestrian Center. You would follow them in your vehicle. Then you could jump up on I-75 and hope you could make it back to wherever you came from. I will tell you this in closing, that we are one of the 20 lucky projects on I-75 for the Moving Florida Forward program, the $4 billion that all of us are familiar with that. If you ever go through Ocala on I-75, you never know what you're going to get. You don't know if it's going to be bumper to bumper or if it's going to be normal travel. So in the next couple, 3 years, they're going to be adding one additional lane on each side of I-75, which hopefully will make that a little bit easier. That's 100,000 vehicles a day, 25,000 of them are 18-wheelers. So a lot of traffic. The last point is we are getting an additional interchange between State Road 27 and 326. That's where the Buc-ee's is going. That's a destination. If you haven't been to a Buc-ee's, my wife won't let me go there because it takes me an hour to get out of there. Anyway, look, I want to welcome you guys from the bottom of our heart. We really, really want you to feel at home here. We want you to enjoy a little bit of your day and your time in Marion County. If any of us in the future can help your families or whatever, if they want to come in here, I can probably help you maneuver around a little bit. So anyway, thank you all for coming. We'll get back to the meeting.
Next up, we have our consent agenda, and before we move on with that, I want to say a quick note that in the 2023 year-end budget amendment,
Well, good morning. My name is
Morning.
Jody Kirkman, I'm the Utilities Director with Marion County. I'm pleased to be here this morning to basically provide an overview for our Silver Spring Shore Septic-to-Sewer program. Today, what I would like to do, just quickly provide a little quick agenda, is provide a little background how we got to where we are today. Provide a BMAP area. BMAP, of course, is a Basin Management Action Plan. Area map where we're actually doing the septic sewer, and then if you have any questions for me, type approach. Kind of how we got here. Beginning in 1972, the EPA developed the Clean Water Act. That's kind of where this started. It established the basic structures for regulating discharge of pollutants into the water bodies and the regulatory regulations in and around water quality and surface water. The EPA has implemented pollution control programs such as setting wastewater standards and total maximum daily loads for TMDL. In 2009, The Silver Spring was verified as an impaired water body by the FDP, or Florida Department of Environmental Protection. The springs were identified as impaired by nutrients. The TMDL was created in 2012, basically established threshold concentrations of nitrogen that would allow these water bodies to meet applicable water quality criteria. In 2015, the Basin Management Action Plan, or BMAP, and Priority Focus Areas, or PFAs, were adopted. The BMAP documents management actions that have been or will be undertaken by local, regional, state, or private entities to reduce the amount of nitrogen released into the upper Florida aquifer, which is the source of the spring water. The PFAs are defined as areas in the basin where the Florida aquifer is generally most vulnerable to pollution, where conductivity is shown between the groundwater pathways and outstanding water sources for the spring itself. In April of 2021, staff presented the Master Wastewater Feasibility Report to our Board of County Commissioners. The report identified priority focus or project areas, PPAs in this case, which were prioritized in the areas of DL and DK. After receiving the American Rescue Plan Act, or the ARPA funding, the Board of County Commissioners approved funding for 4 phases of septic-to-sewer in the Silver Spring Shore area. The program is being developed as a progressive design build project, and ARPA requires the work to be complete on or before December 31st, 2026. Each phase of the program, the 4 phases, has approximately 500 properties, with an average of 50% developed to date. Currently, phase 1 and phase 2 of the septic-to-sewer program projects are at 90% complete. The way progressive design works, once we hit 90%, we actually start negotiations with our contractor in this case to develop a guaranteed maximum price. We are basically at that point right now with the first 2 phases. The next 2 phases are at 60%, phase 3 and phase 4. And we hope to be in GMP with all 3 phases in early next year, 2024. That means bringing us to the next stage, going to construction. So we do hope to see construction moving forward, basically early to mid 2024, we'll start construction accordingly. As I stated before, you have your BMAPs, Basic Managed Action Plan, which is identified in this slide with the green. The green outlines the Silver Springs BMAP, and then of course we also have a secondary BMAP in the rainbow, Silver Springs in the southwest portion of the county. The PFAs described earlier in blue, so you can kind of start seeing focus in and around the springs itself, where it's really in the heart of that. Earlier I described the priority project areas, or the PPAs that were identified in the wastewater feasibility report. As you can see, DL and DK are kind of at the bottom, center bottom. That's right in the heart of the shores, and that's right in the heart of where my next slide goes our phases. The yellow phase is phase 1, blue would be phase 2, red phase 3, and teal phase 4. So it kind of runs right up in that, those areas identified in the earlier reports. And this is just a slide I like to show just to remind folks, septic tank versus a connection, a simple connection, and what people are going to basically expect to have with the system. And with that, if there's any questions, I love this picture because this does come from this facility. Kind of shows that we do have a little nitrogen problem on the south here. So I always like to show that. But, any questions? Oh, sure.
I've got one. I have visited Ocala on more than one occasion. You have a stormwater facility at E.L. Foster, I believe it is, in Ocala. Are you going to be installing more of those facilities to filter out the water before it goes into the aquifer?
I I would love to answer that, but I can't. I'm actually water sewer reclaim water. Our stormwater division, if that's actually affected, would be our through Office of County Engineer, because I don't have a lot of information on it, and I'm not sure if that's one of ours or the city's.
It's a city. It's
Yeah,
a city. Because, I mean, Google Earth shows it dry, but you catch a rainy season out here, it's going to fill up.
Yeah, the way the DRAs are made in this area, I mean, we do basically work on kind of a 24-hour period during a certain storm event, so they are oversized for the most cases. But you're right, when we have that storm, it's basically sized to handle whatever case, the water flow that actually comes out.
And you've got a lot of permeable surfaces, permeable sandy areas for it to filter back into the aquifer.
That is correct.
Exactly.
We have a very sandy environment.
Very sandy.
Well, thank you very much.
Good morning. Welcome. Can y'all hear me okay? Oh, thank you. Well, if you can hear me okay, can I talk from here? Can anybody not hear me in the back? Can you all hear me? Awesome. I'm the tourism director here, and the blessed one to be able to tell this amazing story that we do. And the reality of it is, just as you heard from Jody, if we didn't have this award-winning water and our waterways that we could really promote, this story wouldn't be as grand and beautiful. And of course, Silver Springs being the first attraction in the state of Florida has certainly been beneficial for us. But we've come a long way. I have personally been here 11 years and have had the fortunate opportunity to work under Munir Boyonis, who took over the helm for our county in 2016. Through that, we've been able to develop a countywide master plan that, of course, all of us are able to work to further develop an even greater quality of life. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is not only what we do, of course, from an economic impact. I know that you all are very used to that, and collectively, we share 70 million guests amongst all of our counties. So that's a significant number. But at the end of the day, we're real hopeful. People come in, they dump their money, and then they go back home and they tell people grand things. And like I tell people, if you're really nice and you want to move there, that's okay too. We certainly welcome that. But you all mentioned in your resolution people, prosperity, and places. And we believe in that. And those natural resources, whether we're thought leaders and do what you do to set forth, the amazing thing is we do have the leadership to take us forward to have that quality growth that does come through tourism. This is our office. It is downtown, and we were fortunate enough in the county to revamp an entire bank. And so we have been really able to underscore that amazing pillar that you heard from Commissioner Curry as it relates to history, heritage, art, culture, and really bring that vibrancy of all the events and all of the attractions that we have within the community. I'm going to tell you how and where to get there in the end, but first and foremost, the springs. We have over 600 rivers, springs, lakes, all of these beautiful waterways, and the competition's steep, right? Especially where our 8 counties lie, where, you know, for Volusia, you got the beach, but we're always touting how and where waterways. So when people come to Florida, it doesn't matter what they want to do, they want to touch water. They've been in cold areas, and so having this opportunity to be able to tell the story is truly a blessing. We, of course, are the horse capital of the world. We have the World Equestrian Center, as you've heard. That has been grand for us. And we're really excited because we're currently underway with a gap and feasibility study to really understand how, where, and what our community can do over the next 10 years, 20 years, however many years this plan will do for us, to determine whether that's bricks and mortar, whether that's new product development, how and where can we be a better benefit and an even greater asset to this community as folks like Growth Services, the City of Ocala, all the municipalities are working to really establish those new areas of opportunity. So that's going to be very exciting for us. That will be out the spring of next year. And as you all know, with tourism tax, we are up to 4 pennies. We can go up to 5. The legislature did change this last year, so that 5th penny would require a referendum. But if it is something that the research deems, then that will be something we will talk about as a community to, again, enhance our tourism, enhance our community life, and further take Marion County to the next level. When it comes to marketing, we're marketing and sales. That's what we do. We're kind of that full-fledged marketing agency for Marion County. And we're real blessed because we went from under $1 million to $5.3 million in occupancy taxes last year. And this is just an example of how we've been able to take some of that additional revenue and place it in some key places that we know folks are going to. We know they're going to go see Mickey. We know they're going to go to Busch Gardens. So this is in the Tampa and Orlando airports. in a spot that stays very true to our QR code, leading folks to have a very an experience that they can easily. This app cost us $130,000 to build. It is extremely indicative of our 1,260 miles and really learning people how to navigate. So it's one of our newest key forces as a community, internally and externally, to sell, so that folks know how to navigate and know all of our wonders. So let me, am I running too much time, Tara? You sure? Creative team, and they actually slice and dice internally all of our creatives so that we don't have to pay all those additional costs to an ad agency. But we were really fortunate last year. I didn't lose my job because I brought Monier down to the governor's conference and told him we won an award, and then in the end we weren't even called, and all of a sudden at the grand award they were like, stand up, Monier and Loretta, and we did, and we walked up. But this is such a treasure that I wanted to share with you. We did take the state award. We're very proud of that in Marion County, but what is truly something that I want you all to see is this is the Ocala National Forest. This touches so many of us. And when we talk about these natural resources, all of our waterways and our springs and our trails, this is what's sold. When you slow down time, and for us being that cinematography, history-driven community, this is what people really want to see. And when you have stiff competition like some of you amazing destinations that are here today, do you mind going ahead and clicking that for me? Thank you. It was a real honor to be able to, last year, to bring this home. and as you can see from this video, it takes a collaborative effort, right? If we didn't have all this beautiful clean water that Jody did, whether it's at the bottom or the top, we certainly wouldn't be able to sell this beautiful story that we're so fortunate to be able to sell. But on the highest level, as y'all know, economic impact matters. So whether it's jobs, whether it's the taxes and the household savings, whether it's the taxes that contribute to the sales tax that make a better place for us with an even greater quality of life, all of these items matter. And today we're looking at over 1.5 million visitors, and we continue to strive to be better and better as we continue to exceed that $1 billion of direct, indirect, and induced economic impact. And lastly, whether it's on this trip or in future trips, please stop by, visit us. We have a lot of fun things down at the Visitor Center I showed you a picture of. Follow us on all these beautiful handles, and know that that tourism app, whether it's just looking at it to come explore with your families at another time, whether it's here or to learn about how and where you all can potentially see some neat little innovative things and tricks the team has built, please download it. And again, in your bags are brochures, and we'd love to take you out to see Wet, Fort King, and anything else that we can do. So know that we are an extension of what you all are doing, whether it's today or in the future. And I thank you so much, and I'm so sorry it took so much time this year.